Good morning. How the devil are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're good. How's your weekend been? As you can see, I'm not in sunny Alcúdia. I'm back in Leicester. But you know what time it is? It's 100%. It's 10 o'clock this week. 100%. It's 10 o'clock. So you know what time that means? It's time for the famous Foxes Aftermath show. Run by the fans. By the fans, for the fans. Your opinion matters. So come on, Foxes. Let's get going. Let's have a good show.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV.
Come on.
Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Morning all, how the devil are you? I hope you're well. Like I say, I'm coming from sunny Leicester. Well, it's not really sunny, is it? It's a bit piss poor here, to be honest. It's cold and wet, but it's lovely. After 4 months of red hot weather, it's fantastic. I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone's good. We've got some right reprobates coming on. First of all, we'll bring young Reedy in first. If I get Reedy, morning, how the devil are you, pal? Are you good?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. Let's bring the intelligent one of the foursome that's going to be here. Tom, how the devil are you?
Good morning, both. Yeah, really good. Thanks, mate. Really good.
The man that talks more common sense than anybody, Tom. And we'll bring our Geordie correspondent in. Jono, how are you? How are you, Jono? You good?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Righty. Reedy, do us a favour. If you see any good comments, put them up for us, because my iPad says any comments, you put them up for us. Tom, you saw the game yesterday. What did you think? I mean, we have made improvements, haven't we, over the last few weeks, considering the first 7 games?
That was by far the best performance of the season for me. Yeah, there was a few mistakes and they had a few chances, but for me, I thought that was the best performance of the season, all-round package. I thought we defended well. We attacked brilliantly at times yesterday. Some of our interplay around the box and movement was fantastic. And topped off with 2 beautiful goals. One, well, what could you say, for me, the better goal out the 2 from Lorio the last couple of weeks. For me, technically, to get the ball on the knee and then take the volley. Oh, it was just a great game, a great performance.
The thing, though, Tom, it was a bit of a bad pass by Madders, weren't it? It weren't the best pass ever.
Hey, you have to take those poor passes, don't you, to make a great goal sometimes. But as you say, mate, over the last few weeks, we've seen some poor performances, and you know, let's forget the 7 games even happened, because I still haven't changed my views on Rodgers. I'm still very much on the fence with him now. But if you keep playing like that, then we keep pushing up the league. There's no reason. And I said it before and I'll say it again. I think out of all the managers that have been sacked over the years, Rodgers is the only one I've really, really want to turn it around because of what he'd done at the football club and bringing us the FA Cup. You don't want him to leave on a sour note. And for me, if he keeps doing this, then he'll get me back on side. So brilliant yesterday, brilliant team performance. And we knew to go to Newport on with a lot of confidence. Hopefully we can get a few goals and not like Stockport in the first round.
Jono, you and me have been on the very much the same page for the last 6-7 months. Tom sort of joined us a few months down the line. What are your views on Brendan now? Are they, because I tell you what, I'm not 100%. I wouldn't say I'm 100% out now. I'm sort of moving towards jumping over the fence a little bit. I'm still not my favourite, because I still, for what he did, throwing us under the bus, throwing the fans under the bus, the owners under the bus, the players under the bus. Now he's gone back to doing what he's being paid for, Jono. Paid to train them players and teach them players what to do. So is your opinion on him changing as well, Jono, or are you still, which way are you now, mate?
It's better. It's better because I did my little thing and I wanted Brendan out. But what's happened was the club's made changes. We brought in, tell you what, without our new set piece coach, we'll be in trouble. He's done absolute wonders. I'm not nervous anymore with a corner. Yes, we'll concede some, but that's been a massive change. The player management's changed. You know, Yuri in his interview said how much the team morale was down after the first 6 or 7 games, and now it's a happy camp. I'm still pretty. If Brendan Rodgers goes, I'm not going to be like really sad about it. But as Tom said, if the performances keep on changing, if we want consistency, like I don't know what he's done with Danny Ward, but he's one of the best goalkeepers in the league at the moment with form. He's done. I don't know what he's done with Danny Ward, but it's a different player. If he keeps on like this and keep it consistent, I will change.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the same kind of view, really. It's my everyone knows what my opinion was. Everyone knows Tom's and Reedy's as well, flip-flopping from one side to the other. We never knew what Reedy was like. But Reedy, you were at the ground yesterday watching the game. Has Yuri Tillemans made a difference being captain? Because I think giving him the captain armband, he's gone back to the star man performances that we know that he can give us. And do you see that in the crowd? And is that what the feeling is in the crowd?
I honestly think out of all the different changes we've made, that is the biggest one. I think since we've lost Johnny Evans in that back line, I think we've been a lot better. And that is at my slating on Johnny Evans maybe a bit, but I just feel like phasing the back line is more that leader for us. And then you've obviously got someone like Yuri Tillemans in the midfield. People are asking for a captain in midfield. You've got it, and they're improving. And I think maybe that gives them a bit more of a choice to maybe stay with us a bit longer. You never know.
See, like I've always said that I don't mind losing. I don't mind losing 3 or 4-0. But as long as we're showing some passion, some leadership, some fight, Tom, I don't mind that. But now we're putting in the performances and we're showing that kind of what I've been asking for, a bit of leadership, a bit of passion. Are we on the upward trend now, Tom? Or because we're only, I think it's 2 or 3 points still away from relegation, are we still going to look over our shoulders, or are we looking up now, ahead?
I think you got to look positive and you got to look forward. You know, if you look at the last few results, you know, we battered Wolves 4-0. We've been, an Everton team on their day that couldn't cause you problems. Yes, they didn't, and it could have been completely different. Could be sitting here talking about defeat if Iwobi had scored after 10 minutes when we gave the ball away on the edge of our penalty area. You don't know how the game would have gone if we conceded that goal so early on. So look, I think Madison summed it up. We look solid more. We look more composed. We've gone back to the basics of defending as a unit, where before we looked, we were all over the place, 6 and 7s at the back. You had a goalkeeper who was under pressure coming in after Kasper Schmeichel left after 12 years and was told, right, there's the number 1 slot, just get on with it. Of course he was going to be under pressure. You've just let a goalkeeper go with vast experience in Premier League and put in someone who barely played Premier League football in goal. And you know what? The last 5 games, 6 games, since that Forest game, we've turned it around. You know, even the Man City game, we weren't out of that game at any point, in my view. Yes, people say we were negative. I don't think it was negative. I think it was a very clever game plan of Brendan, like he's done every time we play with a back 5. And yesterday really summed up what a good performance and how far we've come in 6 or 7 games for me, that the team are gelling. And you know what? There is players who are going to be in and out of the team. You know, for me, KDH is probably one at the moment who could be dropped. He's not playing well the last 2 or 3 games to give the ball away. Samari, you know, yesterday I didn't think he had the greatest game, but what he does offer is something different to him, did he? Where he will turn and run at players and pull the team forward quicker, higher at the park. He's just got to learn that you haven't got the time on the ball in this league. That's the one thing he's got to learn quickly, because we saw it a few times yesterday, dilly-dallying on the ball and he got picked off. But all round, mate, look, Brendan's done something, the team have done something. You can't just give credit to the team, it's credit to Brendan as well, credit to the coaches. It is turning, and for me, Faz is the main reason for this. He's leading that team from the back. And also credit to Daniel Amati, because Daniel got chucked in again. He hasn't played regularly at his football club, but he gets chucked in 4 or 5 games in a row. And he's standing up and performing. And you have to give credit to Daniel Amati in those positions as well. Yeah.
Jono, Tom's just mentioned Wout Fez and Daniel Amati. Are they the way forward, do you think, them two? Or as soon as Evans is fit, do you think he'll bring Evans back in?
Don't change the back. Do not change it. This is working. We've got a plan. If Amati or Woodfez gets injured, obviously change it. But I want Evans to be the voice of reason in the changing room. They're doing so well. Why would you change something that's working so well? Danny Ward knows what's happening. Like yesterday when Danny Ward came out of the box, he came out towards the edge of the box, and whacked that ball away, and that great save, because I don't know who was in, but he made that fantastic save. I'm like, they know how to work together, and don't change it.
I will say though, before you say, Jamie, that the moment Evans is back fit, Evans will get back in that squad. I'm sorry, but he will, and that's the problem. I don't think many of us want him at the moment because of how we're playing, but when he's fit enough, he'll be back in.
Yeah. I think with Johnny Evans, because he's club captain, isn't he? There's not many. I mean, when Wes Morgan was here, very rarely he got dropped. If he got injured, he came straight back in. Wes wasn't at the best when he was at his last season, but whenever he came in, he was given the captain's armband, and I think that's what will happen again. And I just hope the performances won't go down. But Reedy, was there? You were, like I say, keep going on, because you were there. I want to see the difference of opinions between us that were watching it on the TV and you there. Was there any point that you thought, oh, Everton might sneak this? Or were Everton poor and made us look good? Or were we good but just blew Everton away?
That's the thing. I think we've been, since the Forest game, I think the performances have been there. Obviously, other than a bit of a underwhelming performance against Bournemouth and obviously the Man City game, which you kind of can't really groan about, the performances have been there. And we've just got to show it in the games now. And people are saying that the test was against Everton, now West Ham. And I said this to Tom, where does it get to the point where it's not a test anymore? We're beating the likes of Everton, which even Tom said they are a tough team to beat at times. I think West Ham will be a tough team, but then where do you get from the stage from beating someone like West Ham to the top six? I think that is probably the turning point for me, and I think we deserved to win yesterday easily. Yes, there was a few moments where I think they could have been 1-0 up, like that Iwobi shot when past the post. But other than that, I wasn't that worried about any attack because our defence was there.
Yeah. I don't know whether it's Tom. It's the set piece coach that's done his job for the corners and set pieces. But do you think that's instilled some confidence for the actual back four while they're defending open play as well? Because it seems at corners and that, I don't seem to think that we're going and clearing the ball, we're heading the ball instead of we're making the first piece of attack instead of letting the strikers come in and do the jobs.
I felt at the beginning of the season with the way we were defending set pieces, it was all about zonal marking, and if the ball comes into your zone, then try and attack it. Simple as that. There was no really plan there. It was, we'll set up with a back four across the 6-yard box. We'll set up with a couple along the penalty area, and then we'll have a couple man marking as well. So a bit of mix and match. Obviously, we were getting picked off for fun, and teams were destroying us because there was no aggression and no desire to go and win the first ball. That's the opposite now. If you look at us, we set up, yes, in the same kind of way, but you can see the lads, as soon as that ball is going towards them, the area, they are flying towards it. The whole of them are flying out of the box. And including Danny Ward, he's coming out and punching things. A couple yesterday, there was a bit and ahhing what he was doing, but at least he's coming out and trying to catch them. He's trying to punch them and get them away from the penalty area. And there's a lot more aggression in our defensive play from corners. That's also showing with the likes of signing Wout Fazi, going back to Wout Fazi again. You look at him defend, and he's always trying to get in front of his man. He's always trying to, when that ball is coming into the striker, he doesn't just hold him up. He tries to get his foot in and knock that ball away from him, or cause him problems, or stop him turning and make him a right nuisance of himself at the back. And that's really rubbing off on the whole of the back four, because we're doing that on corners, we're doing that in open play. And the set piece coach has done his job really for me. And we look so more solid. You go back to the Tottenham game when we conceded that goal from Eric Dyer, and you're just thinking, this is just too common now.
Well, it's funny you should say that about that, because Ross has put it. We've had 50 corners. We haven't conceded one since that Spurs game, the one that you've just said. Jono, do you think, though, but conceding 50 corners in 7 games, do you think that's an awful lot of corners to concede in 7 games?
You can have 150 corners, but as long as you defend them, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the stats of have against us. Like, for example, in a football match, you can have 150 shots, but the opposition scores 1 goal. Who cares? The opposition wins because they've scored a goal. It doesn't matter how many corners you've had.
Yeah. So can I just add to that, mate? I just think it also showed where we're still very, what's the word I'm looking for? Easy sometimes to get through at the back. We are defending well, but I think sometimes we do give the ball away too much, and then that causes our own downfall. We saw it yesterday. A few times we gave the ball away, and before we know it, it was gone out for a corner kick, and it was our own making. So, look, this the question Reedy said about earlier, where do before we go to the likes of West Ham, and it's just we should be winning these games. We're still away from being that team in my view. On the basis we're still missing players in the squad. We haven't got a good enough squad to challenge in that top six at the moment, in my view, because you've got players on the bench, but then you looked at the bench yesterday, you got Ndidi and Mendy, both defensive midfielders. Well then, and Samara, that's 3 defensive midfielders in the team for that weekend. It's a lot of defensive midfielders in my view. You need a few more attacking options to come on and change games. And just go back to Everton, I said it was a tough game. Tough game because they've only conceded 10 goals or something this season. That's a good stat for them. And, that's why I said yesterday was not going to be an easy game. I just think...
Well, it never has been going up there, is it? We don't do very well at all there, Tom, do we normally?
No. And that's what I mean, to go there and get the win.
That's why you have to give us credit as well. That's why you have to give us credit, because obviously we've done well to beat him by what? People were saying that 1-0, people were saying that, we need this second goal, otherwise it could be another story where last season where we drew 1-0 for a last-minute goal. Again, I think...
Reedy, again, we'll get on to Madders in a minute, because that's going to be my ending topic point, Madders. The strikers up front, we've got Vardy, Daka and Nacho, Reedy. When you saw Daka on the team sheet instead of Vardy, what did you think? Because I actually thought, Reedy, that he played reasonably well. He had chances, he was off the back of the shoulder, off the last defender, and he was doing... There was an interview with him that he's learnt a lot off Jamie Vardy, and I think it shows now by his runs he's making. Big question here, do you think the Vardy era is nearly over, or is over, and Daka is the man to replace him, Reedy?
I think...
Or, as Tom's shaking his head, has Vardy still got a lot to give us?
In my own opinion, I don't think Vardy... He's still got the pace. I think he's still got the shoe in him, but I just don't think he's the same player as what we had before. I think now he's more of a substitute player, come on in 60 minutes and run right on him. I think Daka now is showing that he is probably the better starting striker to play. But I would prefer to play with 2 up front. Like I know you would either. But then it comes to the point where it comes to the point where Barnes doesn't fit in there, but he will be put in. So that's why Daka's always on his own.
Tom, you were shaking your head then, Tom, at one point. I'm not sure which point I was making at. You were shaking your head. Which one was it?
The point that Jamie Vardy's done. I don't agree with that yet. I think it's.
I didn't say he was done. I didn't say he was done.
End of the era. But I think you got to look at it this season. Daka has started every away game near enough, and Jamie Vardy started nearly every home game. That tells me that Rodgers is going to mix it up every single week. And who knows? Newport at home, he might give Nacho a start. But, West Ham away, I've got a very good feeling that Jamie Vardy will start that game this time next week. Is it Saturday or Sunday? Saturday.
Saturday.
I think Vardy will start against West Ham. I think he would keep chopping and changing them too, because it gives opposition something different to think about every week. They both do similar things on the press, but they are also different things. I think what you got to remember with Daka is he's going to take him time still. I looked at yesterday, he had a chance where the ball got played around the corner, normal Vardy ball, he made the run, and then he took it way too early. And Pickford came out, don't get me wrong, but Vardy there would have taken the touch and knocked it past him and then slid it across the goal, in my view, where Daka tried to take it first time and ballooned it into the stand. That is still the difference probably in the quality there for me. But I just think Rodgers got a way that he will use Daka away from home, and he'll use Vardy at home to be a pest, cause havoc, make the runs when he needs to. Because he also knows that Vardy can probably play that a little bit deeper when he has to, and link the play up better in the home games when teams come and sit deep to stop the spacing behind. Daka is all about spacing behind, and when you go away from home, opposition teams have to come out at you. We saw that yesterday. Everton had to come out after a while because the fans were getting on their cases. They started off compact, but as the game grew on, Daka got more and more spacing behind him. I just think that's probably why he's picking him in the away games more. Just before we come on to the big England debate that we're talking about, we'll just move on till next Saturday's game. A few weeks ago, when I planned this trip, I thought, I'm missing the West Ham game. I'm not bothered. I won't bust a gut to get home and that and get the flight early and stuff, blah-de-blah. Now I'm disappointed. I'm actually going to be missing it.
Yeah.
Has your feelings changed now? Because I know you were a bit disinterested in watching, weren't you? You weren't really, you thought, I'm not really fussed. Are you looking forward to West Ham? Forget the Newport game. Are you looking forward to the next league game next Saturday?
Yes, I've even against Man City, as Tom said, we've never out of it. I always thought we had an attacking threat. Man City wasn't just winning riot. We actually had a few good chances. So the form that we're in at the moment, the way we've been defending, I think we could give them a very good game. We'll show interest. We'll give them headaches. And if we beat West Ham, we'll go into the World Cup like in the top half of the table. If you said that after 7 games of the Premier League, I'll be laughing at you. But
can I quickly point to the moment you said that? I've just thought Forest was 7 games down last season in the Championship without a point, and they won. They got into playoffs. So you never know what could happen. I'm just saying.
I'm not. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, Europe is getting to the top half of that table is going to be very difficult for most teams this year because Newcastle are running a riot, Fulham are doing unbelievable things. So you've got lots of other teams this season doing bits. So if we want to compete with them, we have to be consistent for the rest of the season, not just a month or so.
But would you say this is consistency that you're wanting right now? Win a draw here, win a few wins there, and then 1 or 2 losses.
Yeah. If we have an injury, though, I want it to be similar consistency because if Maddison gets injured, if Tielemans gets injured, or Wout Faes gets injured, that's where I want to see the consistency. Because if one of those 3 get injured, I think we could be in trouble unless Brendan his tactics work. Because that's for me is a big point. If Brendan Rodgers have an injury, like a big injury, and we can still play consistent without them, that's when I'll rate Brendan Rodgers more. That's when I know he can adapt the team.
Yeah. Tom, you made this point a few weeks ago about the World Cup and depending on how we go, whether we lose a few, whether we win a few. Like Andy Meadows has said we're on a roll, cancel the World Cup. Has the World Cup come at the wrong time for us now, Tom?
It's the wrong time anyway because the World Cup shouldn't happen in the middle of the season, in my view. So I'd totally against having a World Cup in the middle of the season. It's bang out of order and it's stupid. Yes, it has come at the wrong time for me because I really do feel we are starting to turn the corner now. We are starting to improve, and then suddenly we're going to hit a buffers again. Lose a majority of the squad will go to the World Cup with different teams. I know Brendan said they're going away and doing warm winter training, warm weather training, and this, that, and the other. But that doesn't really, prove what you got. You've got to work with the players you got, and yes, you're going to play some games to keep the fitness level up. But that's not really keeping the squad together and building on what you've already got for me. So yes, it has come at the wrong time. And
I mean, Tom, are they during the World Cup? Are they actually going to towards the end? Are they going to do another mini pre-season, like have a game before, or just do inter-club games, or play like the under-21s against the first team?
I've seen a few clubs have already got pre-season to go, or pre-half-season game planned.
Pre-mid-season.
Pre-season mid-games. Newcastle have got one at home, I think. I think we've got a couple of games over wherever we're going, warm weather training organised as well for that period as well. So be interested who we're playing and what the opposition will be like, and how we do it. It's sort of like a mini pre-season, as Brendan said. Do we need it? Not really, but it's one of those. It's not.
We're going to come on to a bit more detail about the World Cup now and who's going and who's not going. Jono Madders, he's a shoo-in, isn't he? Surely, if not, Southgate's got something over him.
Southgate's
got that casino thing a few years ago.
I've listened to lots of YouTube videos and podcasts and I watched a bit of TalkSport. Everton fans ringing in saying if he doesn't go, if he doesn't go, Southgate isn't putting the team first. He's putting his own agenda first because he is playing out of his skin. He is the best midfielder in England right now in form. He's running the show. His passes are excellent. He's controlling the ball. He's dictating the runs. How can you not pick him? It's agenda if he doesn't go. That's end of story. Not form, agenda.
I mean, Reader, you were there last night again. Was there any talk about the World Cup and Madders and maybe even Justin and Barnes going? What do you think?
I could see maybe Justin going because we are lacking on fullbacks in the England squad. But Barnes, I just don't think he's not there anymore. Before he got injured, before that Euros competition, maybe. But I think he's lost a bit of knack in him. I don't know why. I don't know how. just yesterday, the amount of times he had them runs down the wing and he just did nothing with it. I don't really have confidence in scoring goals anymore. Obviously, he did score yesterday, but it was because of a brilliant pass from Maddison. But I can't see Barnes making it. Not when you've got the likes of Foden, Sterling, all them in front of him. He's got no chance.
Tom, what do you think? Is it just Madders should definitely go, or maybe Justin, or maybe Barnes as well?
Why do you want to take Maddison for? He's done nothing the last season and a half, to be honest with you, mate. It's a bit rubbish, really. He's not got any goals. He's not really creating or scoring. He's not got any assists to his name. He's done nothing. I wouldn't bother putting him on the play and let him stay at Leicester and just keep fit for us, to be honest with you, mate. And then, maybe take James Justin.
Is that purely selfish reason, Tom? You don't want him to go?
Yeah, absolutely. Nah, look, be honest with you, mate. If he's not on the plane, I think it's a national shame, if I'm honest with you. The national team fully losing out on a player that is better than Mount, better than Grealish by miles at the moment, on form, better than anything that Sancho and Rashford is doing, and he can't even get a sniff in the England team. It's a national disaster, in my view, that this player, who should be talked about, as Lineker said last night, about in the starting 11, let alone should he be going on a plane, he's being talked about even just maybe not getting on the plane. As for Justin, I feel sorry for him. I feel he looks not as great as he was, but I also think that's down to playing him on the left-hand side, where he loses all that ability to run onto the ball when it's going down the line and put a cross in on his right foot. You're expecting to do it on the left, and it's not his natural thing to do. So I think eventually we do need to probably look at a left-back to come in and push Justin onto the right more and push Ricardo on a little bit, give options. But
they got Bertrand.
I think he...
I like to see your positive note there, Reedy. Bring back Bertrand. Go on, John.
Can I make a quick point? I was watching Mark Goldbridge in his podcast, and he made an excellent point. This is, as Tom said, this is the worst time to have a World Cup, because you shouldn't have a World Cup in the middle of the season. But that's why this is unique, because normally you pick the World Cup squad with names, you pick like the big names. But this World Cup is like, it's another season. Whoever's in form at the time during the season should go. It doesn't matter. Like Callum Wilson, he's one of the best strikers at the moment. Well, I'd rather have him over another like massive name striker, because they're scoring goals. They're not scoring goals, but Callum Wilson is. That you pick a squad in form, not names. This World Cup. That's the difference.
Well, put that photo up again. Whoever put it on, read it.
I'll put it on.
I'm just going to say, Southgate said when he took the England job, and his words were very clear, I will pick players on form and not on the name. Well,
Grealish there is in 10th place. He's in 10th. Yeah. Look at his figures compared to Maddison, and Grealish gets in the team.
Saka, and if he doesn't play Saka, like, he plays. If Maddison played for Chelsea, for Man City, for Arsenal, he'll start, no question. It's just because
I don't think he would. I don't think it has anything to do with the Leicester connection, mate. I really don't, because he's picked players. It's something's gone off between Southgate and Maddison. I'm not having this whole thing. Because he's played for Leicester. Leicester players have gone to play for him before. Vardy was playing for him at World Cups. So the whole thing is because he's played for Leicester. I'm not having that. He does not like Maddison. It's something to do with him. Ever since that casino incident, he has not picked him in an England squad. That's 3 years ago now to the day since that happened. Yeah. And I'm not having it. It's because he played for Leicester. It's nothing to do with Leicester. It's something to do. He does not like the personality or the attitude of James Maddison. And that is such a shame that a manager can't think, I've got to do this for the team here. It's all about the team. It should be not about who he is. And no offence, 3 years ago, Maddison was a young lad. 3 years on, listen to his interviews. James Maddison's
so mature now.
Probably one of the best speaking English players in the league. He knows how to speak to the media. He knows how to conduct himself into the media. He knows how to give the right answer at the right time. But he's also not scared to say how he feels at the right time as well. He's the modern professional football when it comes to how to produce yourself in front of the media every single week.
Yeah, it's like Andy's just said, Southgate doesn't pick the squad. Yeah. The FA don't want Maddis in. Southgate's too much of a yes man for me. And whatever the FA tell him, that's it.
But all England's are the yes men, mate. They are all. Yeah. That's why the best manager, in my view, one of the best managers to never get the England job in Brian Clough, never got it because he wasn't a yes man and he wouldn't have gone yes to the FA all the time. Simple as that. You only get the job if you're a yes man. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Maguire was playing on form. He went to the World Cup because he knew he couldn't drop him.
Well, yeah. That's what it should be, playing on form, Joe, shouldn't it? But they're not picking play. He's just not doing it, is it? He's just not doing it. Anyway, lads and lasses, I'm going to call it quits there. Thank you for joining me. I shall see you, well, whoever. I'll be at the Newport game. If anyone's there about, I'll be at the Newport game. Tom, are you going? Oh, you going here? Mate. I'll see you there, pal. I know you're not, Jono, because it's a bit too far for you to travel, isn't it, pal?
A bit, yeah.
Just a little bit too far. All right, and Jono, I shall speak to you later. Oh, go on. Were you going to say something?
No, I'm not. I'll watch it online. Don't worry.
All right, I'll see you next week, Jono. Cheers for joining, mate. Reedy, are you coming to visit me on Tuesday night, or are you staying in the warmth?
I probably won't be coming because I'll be at work.
Oh, so. Tom's going all the way from Worcester, and you're in Loughborough, about 2 hours closer, and he's making an effort. I've come all the way from Spain for this game, and you're in Loughborough, and I'm making the effort, and you're not.
Because my season ticket seat's gone. I'm not sitting in a random seat.
It's not about season tickets. It's about supporting the club, mate.
I might come. I'll decide. There'll be probably tickets left by the day anyway, so I might just decide.
I think there will be. All right, and Reedy, cheers for joining me, pal.
See you in a bit.
See you later, mate. Tom, enjoy your Sunday. Thanks for joining, matey.
Mate, I'm brilliant as always to join you, and thank you for getting the time right this week, mate. It was much appreciated when I was eating my breakfast at 9 o'clock last week and you went live, and I was like, "When I supposed to start?"
Hey up. Oh, Tom's gone. Fortunately, we've lost Tom for some reason. Right. Cheers all. Thanks for joining me. Just one thing I'd like to say before we all go. If you don't like any of my jokes or banter during the show, please let me know, or even just don't watch. That's simple as that. If you don't like the jokes or the banter, don't watch. So it's hold on a minute. So yeah. So like I say, I'll be at the Newport game. Thanks for joining. Please enjoy the show. Please like and share wherever you're watching it on. But yeah, cheers all. Ciao, ciao. Adios. Goodbye. See you next week all. Come on, you foxes.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.